Okay, it's World Braille Day. Yes, you're welcome back to the show. Yes. Now, January the 4th, of course, is World Braille Day, just like I said. And on this day, we spotlight a visually impaired man who is defying the odds and making the very best out of his situation. Let's see it.
Anyete Akpan, a 42-year-old visually impaired man, has refused to be defeated by adversity. Guess what? He is a laundryman. Like many others, this man, who is of the Ikono stock in Akwa Ibom State, came to Lagos in search of greener pastures and suddenly developed a strange eye infection in 1996, which later claimed one of his eyes. As he battled to find a solution to the nagging eye problem, the second eye too yielded to the infection and he became completely blind. I was drawn to him when I lost my way around Okera Ogba in the Ikeja area of Lagos. After speaking to him, I discovered that something was strange about his look. I moved closer to him and discovered one of the most uncommon things. He was visually impaired, yet rendering a service some people find difficult doing, even when they are privileged to have both eyes functioning.
Though I was using this very one to see this side, not very well, but this side I wasn't seeing with it again. Before then I was selling newspaper as a vendor. Then when I returned back, I couldn't see with the eye very well, and then I stopped what I was doing. I then started doing this laundry work. Even before then, I've learned this laundry work before the incident.
Anyete, he says he took to this vocation because he just couldn't be sought to begging. Some of his customers and neighbors are amazed at his industry and character.
Mr. Super is the one that I've been taking care of my clothes and my husband on. So he's a nice man and he's did his job very well. I trust him. He doesn't disappoint. Even if there's no electricity, the generator is there. Once you enter, you give you your clothes without no mistake.
He has been doing my clothes the way I want it to be done. The color is balanced. The wash it and he dry cleans it in iron in a very smart way. And one thing I so much likes about him, when he say Tuesday is Tuesday. When he say 4 o'clock is 4 o'clock. Anytime he tells you to come and collect your clothes, he delivers.
In a country where the visually impaired are often forced to pound the streets begging for alms, Anyetie's case is different.
Okay, a man defying the odds there. You know, it's so interesting. We were just, just as we were watching that and listening to it, this man just does not disappoint. And yet, people with all their eyes and everything will tell Madam, now because lights no deal.
Because, they use the time to do other things, and then they forget that they have work to do, and they've given appointments to people and given deadlines for themselves to, deliver. And
Anyete Okon happens to be a man of integrity, just like so many others who have the challenge of visual impairment. We're joined in the studio by a newsreader and editor at Max FM Lagos, Victor Otuya. Good morning.
Good morning, Victor. Nice to see you.
Good joining both of you on the program.
Yes, is there any such thing like Happy Braille Day?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
Happy Braille Day to every person who is blind or visually impaired around the world. And that started years ago. Let's even say when the man himself was born, Louis Braille, 1809, and it was just by accident, playing at his father's workshop and getting himself injured in the process. But that's where we are now.
All right. Now, that invention by Louis Braille has transformed the world where we are right now, especially for those who are visually impaired.
Yeah.
Now, how would you, let's even break it down to the issue of the Braille. What is it all about? And let's start from there.
Braille is a touch system of reading and writing for the blind and visually impaired, using raised dots. Those dots represent alphabets, numbers, and symbols, just as you'll have in print. And to form to get an alphabet or a number, that has to be done through a cell. Here is a piece of paper,
Yes.
and there's Braille written on it. You can see the dots. So
Yeah.
what I have here are two news stories, and that's in Braille, not print.
Would you read for us
Sure,
to see?
why not?
Okay.
By all means.
Yeah,
All right.
let's see
Let's
how that
see.
works.
Okay, so
If,
I
camera
have to
can
trace with my
catch it.
hands.
Okay.
So here it says
With
the
your
Federal
fingers.
High Court in Abuja has turned down the application for an order directing the police to remove their men from Senator Dilo Benai's Abuja residence. The Department of Police has been in the senator's premises for a week in the bid to arrest him for an alleged crime. U.S. delegation will visit China next week for talks aimed at ending the trade war between the world's two largest economies.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Wow,
really
that's
interesting.
and that's just from the dots. Can you pass it? Can
Yeah,
you
sure.
just
Really? Yeah,
pass
I
it?
mean-
Let me.
Yeah,
Wow.
really, like he said, is it's a touch
Form of
writing
and reading.
You touch it, but
You
you
have
know,
to-
for
well, you can
untrained
actually
persons
look at
like
it as
us, this does not really mean anything
Yeah,
to us. We
exactly.
It
don't
will
even-
mean anything to you when you get
well,
trained. Yes, it's
if you
possible
can-
you can learn
Yeah.
within 30 minutes.
Really?
Oh,
You learn the
really?
yeah, it's possible.
That's short.
You would learn the basics, but then the trouble is, how dedicated will you be?
Okay.
Once you're dedicated, you'll pick up from the basics you would have learned.
All right, I like maybe the
Even the
camera
camera
to.
cannot
I wonder if
really
they can
appreciate
capture this, but the point there is it's blank on all sides. At least you can see it's blank on
You
all
see the
sides
dots
to
faintly.
the eyes if you have to see from that
Yeah.
perspective. But there are dots on it, you know,
Yeah.
and those are the dots that you use to identify whether it is this
Representing
letter or the
the-
words
yeah,
or the
exactly.
sentences and all of that. So when it comes to the rudiments of understanding the Braille. Okay, let me hold it so that
Okay.
everyone can see. All right, you can see front and back. As far as the
Just dots.
it's just dots, nothing more than that.
Okay.
You can see that. But there are dots there, and these dots signify the letters and the words and the sentences and all of that. So we learn the foundational blocks of words in the A, B, C, D,
Yeah,
and all
to
of that.
Z.
Do you have that in Braille?
It's the same. It's the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
It's you learn Braille. You learn Braille. You learn ABC in Braille. And as I said, every alphabet is represented by 1 or 2 dots.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, this is
Okay.
not print.
But how easily accessible is the Braille? Because
Braille-
the World Health Organization has actually said, that there is a huge link between, visual impairment and poverty. Now, for people who really cannot afford it, talk to us about the availability first.
But Braille is accessible now
Okay.
compared to what it was years ago. The problem is when it comes to assistive technology, Braille has gone beyond just writing on a piece of paper, because you need to be efficient in your work. You need to deliver. When you're dealing with a large volume of texts, then you would need something that would enable you do your work in it. So that is where the challenge is. Otherwise, basic Braille is accessible. Basic Braille is accessible. But then when it comes to having books and so on, but then there are some bodies now that are even helping.
Okay.
You have Niger Wives, you have the Anglo Welfare Association of the Blind, and several other
And they are
bodies in
writing
Nigeria.
books with,
they're-
using the Braille.
Using Braille, they are, you go
Using the Braille.
Using Braille, they are, you go with you go pay for your textbooks as a secondary school student, and then you get it.
So
Years
now,
ago, we
with
didn't have that.
the script you just read now, I
Yes.
mean, when you have to cast the news on Max FM,
Yeah.
our sister radio station,
Yeah.
tell us, walk us through the process.
Yeah, I get a Braille. I use what is called a Marburg frame. I place this piece of paper between the frame, and then punch the dots as accurately as I should, and then I go and deliver.
All right. Now, this news, the news stories don't come in Braille. They come in written scripts and
Yeah,
texts
okay.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
do you
how,
lift- So what
how
I
do you
do-
lift
yes.
exactly? How do you
I-
lift that story you see either on the net or on the papers into Braille? Because you need to first understand, what the story is
Yeah.
saying.
Now, I talked about assistive technology.
Yes.
Having a screen reader on your laptop is very important.
Okay.
Because it voices out everything on the laptop.
Okay.
Without a screen reader, your laptop is useless.
Okay.
Without a screen reader, your phone is going to be useless to you. So you're going to Google, you're Googling something, it tells you, okay, here's a particular story, just the way you go and search for whatever it is you want. The only difference is your laptop voices for you.
The Braille, is it configured to only recognize English? Because there are various languages. I wonder if Braille can be translated into...
Every language in the world can be written in Braille.
Okay.
Every language in the world can be written in Braille. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and other languages. Because it's not only English speakers who read Braille. There are blind people in other parts of the world. The Arab world, there are Chinese who read Braille. So,
so it's
accessible for them as well.
Yeah. What about age? Does it matter? How early really can you start, learning to use the Braille?
Well, it's about your interest, really.
Okay.
There are some people who aren't interested in reading Braille in particular, so they deal more with audio. They deal more with audio. That's their own way of assimilating, getting their job done, or getting their own information.
All right. So when it comes to the dots, since it is the dots that make up all of the letters to words and all of that, how many dots make each? For instance, like letter A, how many dots make A?
A is one dot.
One dot.
Just one dot.
Okay, just one dot. But B, C, E, I have two dots.
Okay.
But the difference between B and C is that B is horizontal.
Okay, horizontal.
The dots are horizontal.
Okay.
C, the dots are vertical.
Vertical.
Both of you will be able to see the difference between both dots if you place the piece of paper for the camera to see that they may not be able to figure that out. But then,
so what I'm going to do is to maybe you may have to be my coach in learning Braille. Can you teach me Braille?
Why not? Yeah, by all means.
Okay, Victor Tuya is a newsreader and editor of Max FM Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Victor.
Of course, we hope that you can, teach us how to use the Braille.
I'll come for classes.
Yeah, just mention it.
All
right. Great. Thank you very much.